Robert Herjavec came from a family that lived in poverty under communism. The family moved to Canada for a better life, but for 18 months in Canada, the family lived in the basement of a friend's house. There was no food to put on the table. Robert Herjavec took odd jobs and worked at minimum wage. He was so desperate to change his luck that he even worked for free for a technology company called Logiquest. As he was not qualified for the job, his only way to get into the company was to work for free. He did not charge any salary for the first 6 months. Later, he became general manager of the company. His luck turned around when, due to unknown reasons, he was fired from Logiquest. He was not able to find any other job, so he started his own venture, which made him the millionaire. He later started the Herjavec Group, whose annual revenue is over $200 million today, and is one of Canada's biggest computing and IT security companies. He is also a TV star thanks to appearing on the popular reality shows Shark Tank and Dragon's Den. Want to know how a person with dire conditions was able to become one of the richest people in Canada? Watch the whole video. Robert Herjavec, founder of Canada's biggest IT security company. We at Business Chronicles tell the stories of extraordinarily successful people. Please subscribe to our channel to help us in making more videos. In 1962, Robert Herjavec was born in Croatia. At that time, Croatia was still part of Yugoslavia. His family lived in poverty under communism. In 1970, his family moved to Canada in search of a better life, albeit with $20 to their name and one suitcase when he was just 8 years old. Herjavec's father had been incarcerated 22 times in Yugoslavia due to his occasional drunken outbursts criticizing the communist regime. The family settled in Toronto, living in the basement of a family friend for a year and a half, and Herjavec's father found factory work in Mississauga, Ontario, taking home around $76 a week. Despite his humble beginnings, Herjavec remains upbeat when asked about his childhood, saying that it never seemed bad. You never know the situation you grow up in until you compare it to something else. He recounts when a traveling salesman talked his mother into buying a vacuum cleaner for $500, which was almost 2 months' salary. Herjavec vowed to never let his family be manipulated like that again. Throughout the 1980s, Herjavec worked in many low-paid jobs to help the family. He earned a degree in English literature and political science in 1984. In a promotional video for the University of Toronto, he stated that taking the literature degree had been the right choice. The ability to communicate is fundamental to what I do. After graduating at the age of 22, Herjavec found work as an assistant producer and director in several film productions. He worked as a producer on the film that covered the 1984 Winter Olympic Games back in Yugoslavia. In between working on film projects, Herjavec tried for a job selling IBM mainframe emulation boards at a firm called Logiquest. The information technology industry had caught his attention because a friend had told him that he had tried and failed to get a job at a tech company. This job would have paid him $30,000 a year in 1995, which is equivalent to around $79,431 today, a very healthy salary. Despite being underqualified for the role, he got the job by offering to work for the company without pay for half a year. He landed the position, but now that he had to work for free, he showed great resilience by waiting tables. This allowed him to keep body and soul together during the volunteer phase of his employment. After establishing himself at Logiquest and ascending through the ranks, Herjavec became general manager of the company but was eventually fired in 1990. At this point, he simply needed to pay the mortgage, so he teamed up with Warren Avis, who founded the car rental company of the same name, to start a business. Termination of his employment actually forced him into this position. It was more a necessity and wasn't something that he had been yearning for. Nevertheless, when he cashed out of the joint venture, his stake netted him $60,000. So whether he liked it or not, he was good at being an entrepreneur. Herjavec next leaned on his knowledge and experience from working at Logiquest to found Brack Systems, an internet security software integrator. He started this venture in the basement of his house and sold it for $30.2 million to AT&T Canada in March 2000. He then moved on to become the sales VP at Ramp Network, which Nokia later bought for $225 million. Herjavec set up his eponymous company, a managed service provider, security solutions integrator, and reseller in 2003. With 3 employees and $400,000 in sales that year, it now ranks among the quickest growing technology ventures and is the biggest IT security provider in Canada. It has grown to 150 employees and brings in annual revenue of $200 million. Herjavec has been a regular on 2 reality TV shows, the CBC version of Dragon's Den for the first 6 seasons and the American version of Shark Tank. Both shows feature would-be entrepreneurs presenting their business ideas to a panel of ultra-successful business people, who may reject them out of hand or invest in them in return for a stake in the company. Herjavec has personally invested more than $16 million in 54 deals. He bought a 10% stake in the sweater company Tipsy Elves for $100,000 of his cash. This proved to be his most successful investment on the show. He also did well by investing in Ora Bora, an herbal sparkling water business. The entrepreneur has now picked up no fewer than 3 Gemini Awards in the Outstanding Reality Show category as a Canadian Dragon's Den member. Herjavec has authored 3 books. The first 2 were Driven: How to Succeed in Business and Life 2010 and The Will to Win: Leading, Competing, Succeeding 2013. The former sets out the principles by which Herjavec lives and which contributed to his success, while the latter is a compendium of brief life lessons with the intention of guiding readers towards a happier and more successful life for themselves. Herjavec also named his public appearances The Will to Win, and in them he shares the life experiences that have shaped his advice with business people. He released his 3rd book, You Don't Have to Be a Shark: Creating Your Own Success, in 2016. Herjavec has a mansion in Bridle Path, Toronto that he paid $7.5 million for, but he also owns a number of vacation properties too. After Herjavec's failed marriage, his pastor who was helping him overcome depression told him about Seattle, Washington's Union Gospel Mission homeless shelter. He subsequently became and remains a major donor to this charity after volunteering there. I came here almost completely devoid of hope and left feeling that there might be something out there for me. Herjavec was among the recipients of the top 25 Canadian Immigrant Awards presented by Canadian Immigrant Magazine in 2011. He married Dr. Diane Pleece, optometrist, in 1990. They divorced in 2016, and in June 2019, a judge ordered Herjavec to pay his ex-wife a total of $25 million in a settlement. He is now married to Kim Johnson, who was previously his partner on the show Dancing with the Stars. Robert Herjavec came from a very poor family. His father taught him that he should never complain in his life, instead he should focus on good things around him. He focused on positive things around him and made his own path to get success. He worked for free for a company where he wanted to be hired in. He worked so hard that the same company made him general manager, same company fired him, and he worked hard to create his own business as no one was hiring him. The attitude of making his own pathway made him one of the most successful and richest people in Canada. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to watch more videos like this.